What if one of King Felipe's deepest emotions isn't pride, but regret? Not regret about Princess Leonor herself. Never that, but perhaps regret about something much harder to change. The life she inherited, the responsibility she never truly chose, the royal burden quietly waiting for her since childhood. Because while millions see tradition, ceremony, and history, there may also be emotional weight hiding underneath it all. And today, we're exploring one fascinating question. Could King Felipe quietly carry sadness about the extraordinary burden Princess Leonor may someday inherit? Because sometimes love means wishing someone you care about had an easier path, even when that path carries great meaning. Let's explore. The future may have been decided long ago. Most people slowly discover their future. Dreams change, careers evolve, life shifts unexpectedly, choices feel open, but Princess Leonor's future may have looked different from the beginning. Even as a child, the world already knew what role she might one day carry. Future queen, national symbol, royal responsibility, history waiting. That alone feels enormous. And perhaps for a father, watching someone you love grow up with so much already decided could feel emotional. Because even meaningful futures can feel heavy, especially when they arrive so early. King Felipe knows the weight of responsibility personally. Here's something important people sometimes forget. Few people understand royal pressure better than King Felipe. He experienced public expectations himself. Responsibility, visibility, tradition, national attention, the feeling of carrying something larger than yourself. Perhaps that experience creates a quiet understanding. Because maybe he knows the emotional cost hidden behind royal duty. The sacrifices, the loneliness, the pressure to always appear composed. And perhaps that understanding creates mixed emotions when watching Leonor move toward the same future. Pride, but maybe concern too. The burden may be bigger than people realize. From the outside, royal life often looks glamorous. Ceremonies, historic palaces, prestige, but hidden behind that image may exist difficult realities. Limited privacy, constant expectations, public pressure, carefully watched decisions, personal sacrifices. Perhaps Princess Leonor may someday have to balance duty against personal freedom, responsibility against ordinary experiences, tradition against individuality, and maybe that emotional balancing act feels heavier than outsiders realize. Because meaningful responsibility often comes with invisible costs. Could a father quietly wish things were easier? Here's a deeply emotional possibility. What if King Felipe sometimes quietly wishes Leonor's future carried less pressure? Not because her role lacks importance, but because he understands the difficulty. Parents naturally want easier lives for their children. More peace, more freedom, less struggle, even when they know challenges matter. Perhaps one emotional truth feels universal. Love sometimes means wishing someone didn't have to carry so much, especially someone you care about deeply. And maybe people occasionally see hints of that emotion in royal family moments. Pride mixed with protectiveness, hope mixed with quiet concern. Why people connect so deeply to this idea? Stories like this feel emotional because they feel relatable. Maybe not royal responsibility, but pressure, expectations, parents worrying about children, families hoping loved ones stay happy despite difficult futures. Those feelings feel universal, whether someone lives inside a palace or an ordinary home. Perhaps people connect with Leonor's story because they recognize something familiar. The challenge of carrying expectations while still trying to become yourself. That struggle feels deeply human. Maybe this burden also creates strength. But here's another perspective worth considering. Sometimes difficult paths create extraordinary people. Responsibility builds resilience. Pressure teaches strength. Challenges shape character. Maybe King Felipe doesn't simply see burden. Maybe he also sees possibility, growth, leadership, purpose. Perhaps preparing Princess Leonor isn't about avoiding difficulty, but helping her carry it well. And maybe that hope matters just as much as concern. Because sometimes love means preparing someone for challenges rather than removing them. The human side people often forget. Sometimes people only see titles. King, princess, future queen, but beneath royal life are still ordinary emotions. Worry, protection, pride, fear, hope, love, and perhaps one emotional truth feels impossible to ignore. Even kings may sometimes wish life could feel simpler for the people they love most. Especially when responsibility arrives so young. Conclusion. So, could King Felipe quietly carry regret about the royal burden passed down to Princess Leonor? Perhaps not regret in the way people imagine. Maybe something more emotional. Concern, protectiveness, The quiet sadness of knowing someone you love faces enormous expectations. Yet also deep pride in who they are becoming. Because maybe the hardest thing for any parent isn't watching someone grow. It's knowing they will someday face struggles you cannot fully protect them from. And perhaps the truth feels deeply human. What do you think? Could King Felipe quietly worry about the pressure Princess Leonor may face? Or does responsibility simply become part of royal life? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more royal stories, hidden truths, and fascinating discussions.